Um, just to kind of give you guys a heads up, we have a list that is like this long
In
of
8 point font.
stuff for today. And I had to make sure that I typed all this stuff out so that we didn't get too far off track.
Let me run a
um,
spell check here. Hold on.
don't you dare. Okay. So basically, we got, of course, Geo from the Morning Brew. We
Hey there,
got
everybody.
we got Pantera from Landmark Nightlife, and of course myself for Tima's tutorials and the Colossus Guild. Um, but we're going to dive deep and dive fast into this because there is so much to cover in our little hour time frame here that we're just going to just pound it out here. Um, let's see. Let's get going right off the get go. The first thing I got to the Landmark Live today a little late because I had got on work and then drove straight here. And then by the time I got here, like 30 minutes had already passed. So I ended up having to go back and watch the past broadcast of it. And after I watched it, I was like, that's all I could do. That's all I could do. I mean, I was like, holy crap. So I went back and rewatched it again. And I'm sitting there and like 3 pages of notes,
Yeah.
you know.
Your handwriting sucks, Tema.
It does. I've got a doctor's handwriting. Like, it's like horribly like a doctor's handwriting. So we'll kind of jump on the first thing. Tomorrow's patch/update will take place at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, and 10 p.m. CET,
Unless otherwise noted.
unless otherwise noted, which we all know that it happens, right? Now, this patch is apparently going to take up to 2 hours to get this patch in. So definitely be warned well ahead of time on this. But let's go ahead and get into this actual patch that slash update that is going to be implemented. The first thing is going to be the prop palette.
They read 4 hours on the thing.
Yep.
For the
Four,
patch.
4 hours? Okay. 4 hours. So prepare to be watching
Not
movies or catching
Netflix.
up on checking up on Netflix.
You know
or
what? They
something.
might want to watch a tutorial or two.
Yep. So,
Or Let's Talk Landmark.
so
Just saying.
this prop palette, you can place props without crafting them. In other words, you don't have to go to the workshop anymore to craft all this stuff. So I'm kind of wondering, what is the workshops going to become? Are they going to become props? You know, it is like kind of eliminates a lot of the reason for having all these different workshops, which in a way I like it.
Well, it just the Tinkerer's Workshop is where you make all the props.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, you still need the Tinkerer's Workshop, but it's just going to be a lot less complicated.
Well, you got clothing and stuff like that too, so I'm not sure how that's going to be
Those aren't props.
done.
Flags. You know, like they said, there are things in there, and they watched the first 15 minutes of it. I got a chance to do that, and it was still like, if it's available, it will be there. If it is available, it'll be there. Not everything is going to be prop palette.
Okay.
And then things like trophies that you may have earned from winning competition, things that are unique to your account. You'll have to go craft. They probably have a recipe that costs nothing, but you'll have to craft them. They're not placeable from the prop palette.
Okay. So, This does consume resources. You must have the resources on hand to be able to pull them out and drop them into the world. Let's see. You can pick up props. And they will go into your inventory so that you can trade them. You can right-click a prop and use a new command on the right-click menu that is called disassemble to recover resources.
No disassemble.
No disassemble.
No disassemble.
From now until open beta, all props will be available. Afterwards, after the open beta comes out, you will need to find its pattern in the world to be able to create it. This is something that it's going to make Pantera happy, which is new props, axe, sword, and shield.
My quest is done.
They showed it.
You are complete.
They opened up the window and there it was, the axe, the sword, and the shield.
That was great. And she didn't
I
have
was
the
like-
tin to make it. I was hoping she would have had the tin to make that stuff.
That would have
Now
been
they just got to get the rest of our
great.
cool looking picks and axes and stuff, especially the stuff that we got to use during the alpha and the first part of the closed beta.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the stuff that we don't know if we're going to see them again.
All right. And somebody tell me if my, volume adjustment has worked. I've been playing with it here and hoping that somebody said something.
Something.
Yeah, something.
Right.
The other thing that I noticed was, I was like watching everything that she did to see what happened on her screen and what was in the windows and stuff like that they showed. And the thing that I noticed was all the emitters had new icons.
Ooh, I didn't notice that.
You did it?
Okay, all right.
Go back and watch it. It was
All right.
every emitter had a different icon. I was like, wow, that's
Now-
awesome.
Because of what I mentioned earlier, where they were saying not everything is going to be prop palette, right?
Right.
Do you think there are going to be some that you cannot craft? You still have to go find, like maybe some of the higher end ones.
Not right now, but
Not right now.
when they go into open beta, yes, you'll have to find everything.
Great, so I can craft all my waterfall emitters.
Well, they made a point about we get to experience the new user experience for ourselves when we move to open beta. So,
Well, it's going to be a lot of hunting, a lot of farming, and doing a lot of stuff that
well,
a lot
actually,
of
no,
us can't stand doing. But
yeah, the new user experience when we go to open beta. That's right.
yeah.
But yeah, go on.
And the last thing I have up here is something that I noticed, and I was like, saloon doors? Could we even make those? And I was corrected. Corinne and Katina always correcting me anyway, so you know how it is.
Thank goodness.
And
Well, it's easy to do.
she was like, yes, we already had those, but they weren't leak and triggerable, apparently, or something like that. So the question is, have they fixed the linking and triggering on a lot of the stuff that we couldn't do before? I wonder if that's in this patch or we have to wait.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. Linkering, yes, always.
Linkering for sure. Linkering. Yeah, indeed.
So, man, let's see. But that's like the big thing for everything that they said compacted just for the prop palette. So it's in a little small box that we have, kind of read off to you. The next thing was a hint by Darren McPherson. The easiest way to clear and recoup excess props, place them all down on the ground, make a selection, and then hit your delete key. And you'll recoup all the materials for those props that you already have in your bags.
Oh, that's not going to put them
Yeah.
back into your inventory. That'll actually.
It will
Are they-
delete them. It will give you back the
Okay.
materials.
All right.
Now the question is if it's the delete key or if it's the tool delete. If there's a difference in between the two.
Are props still going to be dropping in caves? I mean, as far as emitters, now that you can just
I'm
craft them.
I got the feeling that that won't be a big issue.
No, it's just a fact. Will they? So you basically can go to a cave, get a bunch of emitters, and delete them and get resources out of them.
Yeah.
Does they never mentioned as far as what I've seen is because they are dropped, that they're only dropped right now, but now we can craft them.
That'll be interesting
So
to see.
will they still drop?
I think they still will because it's already kind of in the game. So everything that you get now, from now on, it'll just be fluff. You just have to throw them away until open. I don't think
Now,
that's a problem.
No,
are
they'll
they
throw 'em away.
redoing? They're redoing those recipes for this update, or is that for the move to open, or both?
This
Are they
is tomorrow.
redoing? I thought they reduced recipes for this update.
It's a possibility. Like I said, I don't know.
We'll find out. We'll
To
find out tomorrow.
to answer Katina, yeah, she's saying delete. I thought he said control. Well, if you put a selection down and all you do is hold control, it ain't gonna do you no good.
Well,
So
the control X, like the actual you're actually using the delete tool, not using the delete button, because there is a difference.
we'll have to test it out.
Yep.
I could have swore he said delete. So we'll figure it out. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, hey, we got a pentapod in the house.
I'll lay down a bunch of them. Yeah.
Pentapod's
Awesome.
watching.
Well, there's your,
Domino, hello,
there's,
hello.
there's your answer. It is delete key to disassemble. Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Awesome.
I'm looking at the tweet from Cool's line tool remove. That was amazing.
Okay, so that kind of takes out the first little section here, and I wish you guys could see what I have over here. It's like it's long. It's like that. Um, line tool is the next one. Things I wrote down the things that I saw that was really awesome about what has happened with this. The line tool is more intuitive than what it was before. In other words, if you put the actual square for the line tool on top of something, and then you go on top of something else, it actually works correctly now, where before it didn't.
These are some fantastic changes to the
Yes.
building tools. Wow. I thought of you, Tinma.
I swear, man.
I swear. I
Direction.
thought of you. And everybody out there who have watched Build with the Line Tool.
Yeah. Direction. Can't talk tonight, I swear. Directions you previously could not make the line tool work has been fixed. Which was the east to north directionals. Possibly some of the other ones that for some reason it wasn't working correctly. Let's see. This is the one that got me when I was doing the tutorial for this last tutorial that I did, which was how to make the little bevels come out off the ends of the A-frame roofs.
Oh, right.
Yeah, right. And I logged in, and I'm sitting there. I'm trying to make that stupid line do what I wanted it to do, and it kept jumping to other places. Like, what the hell's wrong with this? I was getting all mad and stuff, and had to jump into TeamSpeak, and I'm like, are y'all having the same problem? And they were like, Timma, hit your G key, and I'm like, damn it all to hell. And then I jumped out of TeamSpeak. So thank you, Liz, for hooking me up with a easy fix for that, because I was right in the middle of a record. So yeah, but this being able to toggle the grid now is on the modal hotbar now. So you can actually see if it's turned on and off right there on your right above your hotbar there. Let's see. The next thing is this is the big thing about the line tool, and oh my god, all I can say is I love you guys. We now have the F toggle to delete using the line tool. Now, you take the square, you place it on the first location, you hold F, and you click the next location. And it deletes everything that would be the line tool, and so it's a negative.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
This is great. Wow. So these are some great changes. You know what I've noticed is that they're listening to the community, and I mean really, really listening.
Yes.
It's
yes.
wow, it's so exciting. It's just so exciting.
All right. Let's see. I'm
Well, I think
I'm
we're
burning through
apparently ready
this.
to lynch somebody because apparently now we're not having an update thanks to somebody here. Who is that?
What?
Yeah, thanks to
look.
Moon Rage.
Hey, thanks, Moon Rage. Yeah, we're not having an update. Thanks, Moon Rage. Yeah. Where'd he go?
We will find you. We will hunt you down.
Hunt you down. And place voxels on your head.
Okay. All right. Burning through this list that I've formulated here, we going into the selection tool, which is the next thing on the list. So if a curve was against a flat surface and you use the delete key,
You got the artifacting.
on the flat surface, it would revert the curve face back to like its default on the connecting points. That has now been resolved.
That is amazing. When I saw that in the Landmark Live today,
Yeah.
I did a little happy dance.
Yeah. Now to actually make it work correctly, don't hit the delete key. You use the delete tool on the selected volume, and it will be clean. So, but you got to remember the difference in between the delete key and the delete tool. They both act differently between the two of them. So you definitely keep that in mind. But that change is great.
I'm thinking more along that one as far as spheres go.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, man. You're reading my mind.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
great.
I
You
can't
can't just
wait.
hit delete on a sphere. You have to actually use a tool to do it. And
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
See, I hardly ever use the delete tool. I use the delete key more than I use the delete tool, unless I'm deleting some little poop that's floating up in the air. You know,
Is that a technical term?
it's a poop. It's a single voxel that for some reason it got put up there, and I don't know why. It's called a poop.
Random
So-
voxel. Random voxel. Sorry.
Yes. So it's like just up in there for some reason, right? Okay, carrying on. If you select a area that has missing voxels, you now have the ability to fill in the areas that are missing within a volume with another material. Now,
I
Gotta
can't
put this
imagine
in
what
there.
we could use that for.
if my head is inside of a selected space and I use the fill tool, it will fill in everything around my head.
with poop.
Okay, with poop. Okay, so that is the easiest way to explain it without actually showing pictures here.
When I saw Emily do this on the show, it was
Oh
the
my
first.
gosh!
So when I saw the line tool used to delete, I did a little happy dance. I was thinking of you, and then when she filled that area with oh my God, I nearly wet myself. It was yes, great job. Oh, it's so
But
cool.
it's great. But it's
Depends,
I love
Geo.
that.
Depends.
I love that.
Yeah.
But I have to be the downer on this one. Because yes, we have that and it acts like putty, but it's only within a selected space. Okay? We still need it on just the add tool if I'm placing like a single voxel or a larger volume for the add tool. You know, when I scroll my mouse up and down.
I would, you know
that-
what? I think
that-
I would
that
think at
would
this point
become-
now that would be low hanging fruit. I think it won't be too much of a stretch for them to.
But,
I
mean,
like.
we
I love
only-
it. I'd love to see that.
Now, I
I'd love
could
to
be wrong about that though, because I mean they showed it on a selection, I'm wondering if it is actually in there on the add tool or not. I'm wondering if you just turn on fill and you can still do that with a single voxel, and it would be a putty tool.
And what did I
And
tell you?
I'm hoping Pentapod can kind of clarify that or not. The
DMG, yeah. Of course, you can select just one voxel, but it's faster if the add tool actually has that feature or option built
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, if
Sometimes
it's,
you just
yeah,
need to,
and I'm
you know,
hoping that
just
is
click
the
around.
case. I'm hoping that is the case. But the only thing we saw was just a selected volume, and then you had the option to use feel. But if it's just the add tool and you don't need that, awesome! She just answered it. Yes. Yo, I love you.
Yes.
Yay!
Oh,
Woman.
Now,
Swear
oh,
to God,
Domino, thank you. Oh my
now that
gosh.
that's answered, I will
When-
go back to Tema. What I asked you earlier, or recommended earlier, was being able to take a selection
Okay.
and paste the selection, let's say an arch, and paste that as putty. So
Okay.
paste a current selection as putty, which would take some of these things where people are taking the beveled, the roofs and stuff, and be able to, mesh them together without like a whole lot of borking.
I see where you're going at. So basically, if I go into control, okay, I do a control C,
Yes.
a control V,
Yes.
I hold down control and I click
Yes.
so that I get my little menu.
Yes.
Then on the menu, I have a checkbox.
Yes.
Paste as
Paste as
putty.
putty.
Yes.
So it reverts everything that I have into putty.
So
And
yes.
then I paste.
On your
Yes.
client, but on your client, it should read paste as poop.
Paste
Oh,
as
yeah.
poop. It will work. I am all
Only
for
for
that.
10 months.
All for that. But back to what I was
That's
saying
brilliant. I like
prior
that.
to that was when I get over to San Diego, I'm taking you out to the baddest ass restaurant in your town. Okay. All right. So, let's see. What have I missed? Oh, yes. It looks like now when Emily was moving around that selected
I was watching
volume,
that. Yep.
when she was moving around that selected volume,
It didn't go.
Yeah, it didn't
Not
shoot
doing that
off into
anymore.
the
Yeah.
distance, and I was like, "Oh my God, yes!" And I also noticed that it seemed like the actual selection tool was a heck of a lot more intuitive because I mean, she was grabbing that corner and just moving it all around like it was nothing, and I was like, "Oh man, that's awesome!"
Apparently, you're not taking Emily to dinner. You're taking
But
Slug
Pentapod,
and Andy Rockets out.
they're not as purty.
All right. I'll take
I'll buy them pizza.
Klug and Andy and
You
Heroics
get
out.
lobster. You know? Okay. Okay. We need to move on.
Yeah.
Before-
Yeah, please, Emily,
Okay.
please hug them for us. Oh my goodness.
Yes, give them a hug for us.
Wow.
Um, okay, the next big thing was ether shards.
Yes.
Cost will be removed from building materials. And oh my God, that is awesome because it sucks no more than you can ever imagine when number one, you run out of material, and then you have to go out there and get the material, and then all of a sudden you have to stop mining material to go and kill animals so that you can get shards to make 100 pieces of voxel of wood.
And suddenly you're wondering, where's that white wisp I saw stalking me while I was
Yes.
building?
Yes, I know, right?
You're out there whistling.
So that is great. That is great. You know, instead of being able to just jump off your claim, chop down a tree, you had to jump off your claim, chop down a tree, and then kill 5 or 30 wisp to be able to make enough wood to build a poop shack. So,
Oh my God.
so that has been
That's
resolved.
great.
That is great. Excellent, excellent fix.
Again, they're listening so intently to the player community. It really, we appreciate that. Like you can't even imagine. That is awesome.
And see, the next thing I have on the list here is claim upkeep. No more copper. They took off the SC cache. I was about to say the O in between the two letters, and that would have been a bad mojo. Um, they they got rid of the SC cache, and then now they're getting rid of the copper for your claim upkeep. And
Just logging in.
but you have to log in to keep up your time.
But that is so sensible. That's so logical, and I think
I still have some reservations about that because I have
it's so much better than the previous. I don't have any reservations. But come on,
I'm cool with that.
What are your reservations?
My reservations is the fact
The
that
Hilton?
I have multiple I have multiple accounts and I have all of these different claims, kind of set up. And I may only log into that one account just to pay the upkeep.
Isn't that better than
once.
going and having to farm copper?
But the way it's set up initially, at least the way like I said, I read things differently. When I read something, I read it in gibberish compared to everybody else. So, and no, I'm not. I'm not dyslexic. But
Especially if you're found.
I don't know. So, but the way it kind of sounded, it was like you have to log in like back to back to back days over a period of time to be able to earn
if you were to increase
to be
it,
able
if you
to
want
take
to
a day
increase
off, So
Yes.
if you want to increase it, and they've increased it all the way up to like 90 days now.
All right, so
if you
while
do
you're-
consecutive logins.
So while you're waiting on your morning brew, you just you get your routine. You just log into each of your accounts. For Lady Kathleen, that'll be 2 morning brews.
But I mean,
Or 2 weeks to log
it's-
into all our accounts.
it's just that one thing that just kind of just because I have to, and I spend all my time on just my account, not the other 2 accounts that I run on. So I don't know. I will see. I'm just.
It's a small price to pay.
I'm throwing up
We're not having
hands,
copper.
and I'm throwing up hands, and we shall see. So
Well, here's the best part of it. The best part of it is if you have already earned the 30 days on the upkeep, that's your max. You start with that. With the new system after this patch.
yeah,
So you just have to log in once every 30 days, and you're good for another 30 days. So
I'm just
that
wondering
should
how
be more
long-
than enough time.
I'm just wondering how many days is it going to take before I can get to 90.
You would have to log in basically every 2 days.
Tim's
wrong.
OCD is kicking in.
I know what it is. If I hit 90, it's infinite. Hook us up with that. If we can log in 90 consecutive days, it's infinite.
You should get a
It'd be
yeah.
great.
The reward should be a little outfit.
All right, let's.
Or an achievement. Oh.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Okay, so moving on to the next thing is island changes. We will be getting inland rivers.
Is that amazing? Did you see
Rivers.
the island today on Landmark Live? Oh my goodness.
So we'll be getting inland rivers, and that was awesome. But I would have loved to see the other biomes. I still want to see the deciduous forest and the lava.
Now these island changes, these are coming with the white.
It's the white.
This is
yeah.
with white.
Yeah.
Okay, this is white. Just so we're clear.
I still want to see those though. I'm giddy.
Well, I'm just gonna
giddy, man.
watch Landmark Live again, over and over and over.
But with this, we get the inland rivers, we get plateaus, we get smooth and hilly islands. So one island will be vastly different than another island, unlike right now where it's like almost pretty much kind of the same, just kind of reformed. But you'll have some islands that are more, I don't know, Piedmont Would it be? It'd be considered Piedmont, right? Y'all don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
No, I have not a clue.
It's the area between like flatland and mountains. It's that area in between, so it's like rolling hills, sorta.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Basically,
just think of it like that. Just it's called a Piedmont.
Kansas.
If you don't know what I'm talking about,
No,
look it up.
not Kansas. Kansas.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look it up. It's Piedmont. Okay. Let's see. And then you got other areas that would have high mountains, and then you have like, yeah, like foothills. That sounds good too.
Foothills. There you go.
So it's not quite as
Thanks, Cadavari.
you know, not exactly super flat, and it's not really, you know, totally mountainous where you can't really put a lot of stuff on. So, yeah, I'm getting all kinds of
I know.
names of stuff here now.
Some people that travel. That's good.
Yes. Okay.
We need more fjords.
For George. For George's.
For George. For
It's
Geos.
For George's.
Jeez.
All
I got
right.
my for George right here.
I don't want to know what's in that cup right now.
Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper.
Okay. Oh. All right.
It's Dr. Pepper. I mean, look at that. Could that be anything else?
Yeah.
They can't prove you wrong.
Yeah. True. Okay, next. Better rock textures.
Oh, that was a yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. What? So they're showing the desert biome there, and the face of those cliffs were amazing. Those are fantastic. I feel like I'm walking through the Grand Canyon.
I was still kind of wondering, you know, you had like a sandstone, and then right underneath of it you had like the gray the other stone, which was like a gray stone underneath of it, up on those mountains where they came up like this. But it looked like sandstone at the top, and then you had like the basic gray stone that we had back in early alpha, and that was the only one we really had. Like, come on, George, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
But it was like when I was watching it, it may have been the LOD of how it was looking, where it didn't really blend too well. I was kind of wondering about that.
Well, we'll find out when that comes up. That's still a bit away.
I did notice that where the water was, and you normally had the sand, and the sand just kind of went down into it, and it was all the same texture kind of going down into the water. And now they have that looks like a darker sand around the outer edge of that water, and then it goes up into the light sand, so it almost looks like that darker sand's like the wet sand.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I was like, wow, that looks really good. I was really impressed with that part.
The only thing I'd like to see as far as maybe sand or is maybe a distinct type of rock types. Like if you're having a sedimentary rock, you'd want to see the sand layers. You know, so if it cuts out a mountainside, you would see the sand layers.
Emily Pentapel, she just said, remember that that the demo today was on an internal server, so stuff on there is still in progress. So, gotcha. So
yeah, but it was nice to see that they had at least taken the ocean water and run it through the middle of the island, just so we get a feel for it. That's so cool. That was great.
Now,
we enjoyed that. I'm going to be watching that over and over.
But that kind of a lot of that kind of how to say it, landmass will expand a bit when water was put in, playable area was reduced, and so I'm assuming that they're going to kind of expand the out. Yeah. Back, okay, let me explain it for a lot of people that were not here during alpha. We had an area that was a square. When they put in, and you could go all the way to the corners of the square and place down a claim.
Yeah, the islands were a big square, and there was no ocean around. There was no water.
And when they put in water, a lot of that outer space became unavailable. So the islands kind of went like this, and all that square shape around the outside was covered with water. So those areas were made pretty much inaccessible. You couldn't go out there, you couldn't do anything in them anymore because they were covered in water. And I'm assuming that what's going to happen is that island is going to increase in size just a little bit to fit that square shape that we had before. And that is my assumption. And like I said, I'm seeing it from an
with the
outside view
gaps
here.
in the middle. I love the gaps in the middle.
Yes, and the gaps in the middle. All right.
Everybody likes an archipelago.
Well,
Yes.
I remember back in the alpha, there was the talk of islands possibly being 20 square miles, and wow, I would
Yeah.
love that. But I clearly, now that they got a handle on the data, it ain't gonna happen.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be
think.
it's gonna be great. Now, we already kind of covered my next little point here, which was rock and desert color changes, which
Yeah.
we kind of already covered that, so I'm skipping.
Love where that's going.
And then we'll go to my final point on the island changes, which new water plants.
And coral, did you see that?
Yes,
There was coral
that's
in
what I
there,
said.
too.
It
Yes,
was like
yes,
plants
yes,
and
yes.
coral and all this other stuff, and I'm kind of wondering if that's going to be in this patch or if it will be rolled over until the open, which we probably weren't supposed to see that. So I'm assuming it is that we shouldn't have seen it.
Let's see. Let's look at chat and wait for Pentapod to answer.
We'll see, because
Dun, dun, dun,
the
dun,
question
dun,
is,
dun.
because the question is with that is, will we get those as props? Because it opens up a
Right
new
now,
bag.
please.
It opens up a totally new bag that we probably weren't supposed to even know anything about.
I want just that one piece of coral, the round piece that's in the bigger clump.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so we
we
can
have
take
the little
that and
stuff
size
sticking
it
out of it.
and like make a shower cap for you.
I want a sea urchin. That's what I want. I want a sea urchin. With
Yeah, like
spikes,
you for like PVE or
just to throw it at people.
Oh, are we doing the whole we're watching hockey throw a squid kind of
Yes.
thing? Or yeah, okay.
Yes. All right. So, we got like 15 minutes to go, or a little bit over 15 minutes, and so
everybody. That was a fabulous Landmark Live. If
was-
you haven't seen it, go
oh my
watch
gosh.
after the
And,
show.
Do we have a link to it in YouTube or?
No.
I'll find one. No, I think
Yeah.
Pentapod had
The
one
highlight.
earlier. I'll double check that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Back. What she just replied. Intentionally swam underwater to show a little underwater biome sneak peek. Again, still work in progress. Like I said,
Underwater bio.
I
Can't
just
wait.
I had a feeling that was just a, you weren't supposed to see that sort of thing. Just kind of give us a hint. So, no, you won't get underwater props this patch.
But, we've been talking about this on our shows for a few weeks now.
There it
Just
is.
give us some teasers. Give us some teasers.
I love the teasers. I love
Yes.
it. It makes us think
absolutely.
and
I can't
wonder.
wait. I can't wait till we get some even little tiny, just like one frame of EverQuest Next. Oh, okay. Anyway,
Okay,
I think everybody feels the same way.
so
Emily,
let's-
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the link.
Thanks for the links. Now that takes us into the final little bit, which is our miscellaneous area. Micros now show in paste view where it before sometimes would not.
Would not. Yeah, this is great.
Um,
So helpful.
Intuitive directional arrows on paste volumes. Thank you. It makes working with micro so much better. Hey, I can't see that. Move my head and bottom
Doesn't mean
Yeah,
you can't
you're right.
find it.
Exactly. You're doing that, instead of rotating
Have
your
to find
camera.
them
I can
first.
see you now. Oh man.
Yep, and it was also stated that the relationship with Voxel Farm, Darren said it was very strong. So it is still intact. Thank you. That is great.
Oh, you know what? I want to cover one big point that he made during that bit, and that was the Voxel Farm engine and the Landmark engine are two different engines. So the bits that they get from Voxel Farm, and we see these amazing Voxel Farm videos. the technology that they create over there just can't be dropped in over here. It's
Hmm.
not plug and play. They have to integrate it. They have to engineer it into the landmark system, and that's good. I mean, I'm glad he made that very clear. And if it wasn't very clear for anybody out there, that's if you see the cool stuff on Voxafarm, it can come here, but there's some engineering that's got to happen on their end over there to bring it to fruition here in Landmark.
I have the voxel farm engine myself, and I'm telling you, some of the stuff that is um, in the voxel farm, it's it's nuts. Okay, and just the after we getting into it and actually seeing how things work in it, and
Hmm.
then trying to wrap around in your head how to convert what is in that to what we have in Landmark.
Hmm.
It has to be one heck of a feat, and knowing that you have to take little piece at a time, to get it all to work exactly the way you want to. I have a greater appreciation of the devs
You,
after going
you
inside
know,
a voxel farm and playing with that. I mean, I
you know
was
what?
like,
You know, what would be really cool,
wow.
Tinma, is if on a week from now or 2 weeks from now, if we could do a show just on that, just talking about
I'm
your experience
still
in Voxafarm, and I would love to hear it, man.
Now, is it
I
just me, or is it like some of the time?
dang you all the heck, Emily. Dang you all the heck.
All right.
Okay.
Is it me, or
I'll
is
buy them dinner. When I get
by
over
when
there,
you
I
look
will
at the
buy them.
Voxafarm stuff and you look at the Landmark stuff?
I have it set that one of these days I will be getting to San Diego. Hopefully I'll have it all arranged, um with Colette, and get it all arranged so I could go over there, meet everybody, say hey and all that kind of good stuff, and you know, take everybody out to dinner or something. I don't know.
Actually, you know what? Hold on.
At some point.
She said, by the way, I have told both Plug and and that we wanted to get them a hug and get them on dinner. Can we get him on the show instead?
Um, I'm I'm working on something. We'll see.
But
we
I
we
guess what I
shall
was saying
see.
is, when you look at the Voxafarm stuff and you look at the Landmark stuff,
Hmm.
Voxafarm is great,
Hmm.
but I always thought the Landmark stuff looked better, even though it's the same similar voxel engine.
I'm like,
I,
But you
this.
gotta remember what we have in Landmark is we have the Forge Light system from
Hmm.
PlanetSide. That is the rendering, the lighting, just wow, PlanetSide, what a beautiful game. And so that's one of the reasons why Landmark looks so spectacular.
Hmm.
So you
Well,
see
I
this, yeah.
love I now. There are two harsh realities when I'm looking at video games. You have the way they have it in Landmark, which it has that environmental. It's almost like an environmental fog. Okay, it actually gives you that certain depth perception and all that. Just because of having the volumetrics kind of set up in there. When you're looking at videos for like Voxel Farm, it does not have that.
Right.
For the most
You can
part, it
see
does not
forever,
have it. So
yeah.
you can almost see
See to the
forever in
horizon,
it.
yeah.
Also, their textures are almost like taking pictures of real stuff in reality and putting it inside of the engine.
Mhm.
Where in Landmark, they are artist created, and they're not quite photorealistic. So that's your like two differences between the Voxel Farm engine and what you have in Landmark. You have more of a realistic version, and then you have the Landmark version, and they being able to convert one from the other, or getting it, two totally different games from the same basic structure is pretty awesome when you really
wh-
kind of think about it.
when I think of Landmark, I think of there's a certain when I play a game
Hmm.
and there's the uncanny valley.
Okay.
I think
Hmm.
Landmark is trying to stay away from the less realism of the uncanny valley, so you know it's fantasy.
Yes.
You start getting towards that super realism, there unless you're super real, you know it's kind of uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. kind
I
of like
guess.
Call of Duty. The way they've done it with Call of Duty, it's
Did he just say
they
duty?
Yes,
duty. What
poopy.
is it when y'all are playing?
Us.
Y'all are playing with poop.
Well, look, we should
Okay.
get back on track.
Right.
I
So
got dinner waiting.
But yeah, like Call of Duty, they try to keep it as realistic as possible, but it's hard to do that and have it fantasy wise, and I think the plus it's harder to manage, at least in my opinion, something like that compared to what we have with fantasy because you have a little bit more leeway and stuff
I think
when
they've
you're
got
doing the way
a
they have
perfect
it set up.
Landmark. Just wow, Landmark is in the sweet spot, and really, I'm so thankful that Darren talked about Voxofarm. That was great to hear. That the relationship is very strong, and that the two engines are different. They're different. They
All
can
right.
integrate the technology, but the engines are different.
So let me go ahead and clear out the rest of our miscellaneous stuff over here. It was mentioned, but nothing was ever said about it, which was the dynamic water. It was like they were talking about it, oh yeah, they were talking about the dynamic water, but we never got anything out of Darren about when we're going to see it. But we're still not sure if that's kind of a dead in the water for right now, and they're going to push it so far back that we won't see it until open beta months down the line. Moving on, with the big wipe going into open beta, major overhaul on the crafting and progression systems.
Major.
Major.
They stressed it. They stressed it
Major.
several times. Yeah.
So that's going to be fun, and I really hope they take the naming convention that they moved over to and put it back to the way it was in alpha and early beta.
Well, we'll see. Look, they've been listening
hate
to
the
the
new
player.
naming
They've been
convention.
listening to the community. I mean, it's just stunning. I've never seen a company this agile and really soaking in the requests from the community and taking that feedback and putting it to action. It's just
But
stunning.
yeah, I when I look at a blue material, the first thing I think of is the cobalt instead of that funky name they've got it called now. So
Druidium or whatever.
yeah, I'm like, get rid of that your idiom, oh, whatever you want to call
Cobalt
it.
was nice. It was clean. It was concise.
We need
Cobalt.
we need a landmark periodic table.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'm so making that.
I am working on a song.
Oh, Timba, excellent.
Y'all weren't in the general chat the other day, were you?
Are you?
No.
It's all about that bass. About that bass. Yeah, I'm totally redoing that song just for the keynotes.
All your
Keynotes
base
competition.
belong to who?
It's all about it. And just
So
wait.
so I'm curious. Well, then they and in addition to the overhaul, they talked a lot about how important the new user experience is going to be. And is that you got that down here?
The next thing I got here is possible 48 hours plus hours of going into open beta just for the update. So we can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be down for over 2 days to get the patch in. And then you guys will be able to play it for 48 hours.
And you know,
prior. So,
and I'm, you know what, I'm good with them taking as long as they need and want. Wow, you guys need a week. Painful as it would be.
okay, so
Community feels that way.
moving on. It was mentioned that the Keynote guide sizes posted for the doors, halls, rooms, ceilings are general baselines and are not set in stone. In other words, if they said they want, a 15 by 18 door, it doesn't have to exactly be 15 by 18. You can play with it a little bit. You have like this much playroom, okay? In other words, it's just a guideline. So if you're off by a voxel, don't worry. You'll be okay. Breathe.
Oh, and let me interrupt just for one moment. Emily, while we got you here, who do I contact for more beta keys? We're running low and we're
Me.
getting requests
Me.
every day in the show.
Me.
Please. Okay, but
Me.
over at Daybreak. Let me know who either an email address. You can send me a direct message
I
on
got a
Twitch
bunch.
if that would help.
I got a crap ton, dude.
Okay, we need them. We need them. We're running low. I think Devlin is. If he hasn't run out, he's darn close.
Okay, and finishing up, for the end of the show here, the tomorrow, the workshop show will be covering the ins and outs of level/game design. They're not
I'm
doing.
curious.
They are not going to your claim. They are not talking about anybody's build or anything while the competition's going on, and they will be going over the ins and outs of game development.
Which is so cool because this
Which is
applies
awesome
to
stuff.
everything that we build
And so
for future EverQuest Next stuff.
definitely stay tuned for that. And that should be at what, 2 o'clock Eastern?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
11 o'clock Pacific.
11 o'clock Pacific. 2
Or as my
o'clock
kids
Eastern.
say,
So-
11 o'clock specific.
and going over the last thing, which is the SOE tracker. And I'll paste this inside the chat here. SOE tracker. If you have a bug, use the /bug, but also go to the SOEissuetracker.com and put it in there. So there is an actual log of it, and other people can kind of go in there and be like, hey, yes, I have this same problem. This is how I made it happen. And this will help them get things fixed. Okay.
Copy and paste that into the chat.
I did.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. So definitely.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Sorry.
Definitely check
Wally.
that out. Definitely, if you have any bugs, right now is the time to make sure that if there's something that is out of place, that way we can get this fixed prior to going into the open beta. Trust me, I want this game to just blow when it goes into
just
open.
sparkle. Yeah. Like we say, you only have one chance at a first impression.
Polish the crap out of it.
The duty. Polish the duty.
Polish
We know
the
you-
duty out of it.
We know you had shiny shoes, Tenma. We know you
I
had.
did.
Yeah.
I did. I had little cotton balls.
Well,
dip it in water and be like,
I'm so grateful that the new user experience is a huge priority over there.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are just knocking it out of the ballpark.
Yeah,
and great show tonight.
I didn't
Emily,
even
thank
cover. I did not even cover the bugs that they listed off because they were going through them so fast I couldn't write it. So, but they went over a whole bunch of other bugs that we'll find out about those when they come. But I am really big on bug fixes because I've always wanted this game to be the best thing that you could possibly do. I want this game to basically shut down everything else that's out there, where they don't even have a chance.
Make it to the top of
Make it to the
Twitch.
top, and that's where
Make
I
it to
want
the
it.
top of Twitch. That's man.
So,
And on that note, we noticed today there were a lot of people that were streaming Landmark while we were doing our show, so that was
Awesome.
good news. Yeah.
basically, once you add the code, you'll get an email. If I remember correctly, you'll get an email for the game, and it'll give you a link to the download. If I remember correctly. Yeah, you do, because I got it when I got my last thingy. Okay, so, but that covers almost everything from the Landmark Live, or at least what I pulled out of it. Definitely, you can jump over and watch that. Watch it over on YouTube, because I believe it is uploaded now. The newest Landmark Live, and we will be formulating a playlist for all of the Let's Talk Landmark It's going to be dual hosted in between myself and Geo's YouTube channel. And with that, let's go ahead and get our closing remarks here. Pantera, what you've got going on this week?
I'll try to stream as much as I can. I know I try to do my whole little 5-hour build on Saturday. Didn't work out too well. Did a little bit earlier. Just basically working around, not too much else. And that's about it. Just trying to do something Keynosian and submit it and see what happens.
Okay. And Geo?
I'm doing a little bit of building. I might even stream some of it.
Might.
It might if I get brave enough. But I do the morning brew every day, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. Eastern till 12 noon. We're on a new springtime schedule. It's a 2-hour show, and that's going to give me some time to do some other stuff. So looking forward to it. And then Landmark Nightlife show, which Devlin usually hosts. He's in training at a new job right now, so until we get a better fix on his schedule, just keep your ear to the ground to see when we go live with Landmark Nightlife. It's probably once or twice a week, either Pantera or myself, or maybe even Loved Madly.
I might even squeeze a few out of it too.
Mm.
Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. All right.
Oh my God! He just killed me.
With myself at least, what I've got going on is basically my plans are this Saturday would be my last day at the contract job that I am currently working on, and so I have free time afterwards. So I've got a few weeks
Watch out,
of being
Landmark.
home, and y'all don't know what y'all getting into because I'm coming for you.
We're so excited, man.
I'd like
And
to point out that in chat, Ferd Burfel, who has sitting on a plethora of materials and whatnots, has been offering his services to hand out said materials to whatnot. And
he has an immense gold mine of materials, and he has collected it up. We have used those materials for all kinds of things. We used them during the things we did for the kids. We used them for all kinds of different community builds and stuff like that. But he has got one massive collection of materials, and basically we're ending that time period for
they're going to go away
for the closed beta, and they're just going to go and disappear. So if you need materials, get in touch with Ferd Burfel, and you don't know how to spell his name, it's right there in the chat window.
FURDBURFLE.
And this last
I'm
stretch.
glad you can read.
and this stretch between now and the big wipe, character wipe, everybody follow Bob Dobbs' advice. Go build like crazy.
Just
Build. Get out there and
it don't even
build.
have to be pretty.
It'll get templated automatically when they do the character wipe. Just go build, have fun, enjoy it. The materials are so easy to get with everyone giving stuff away. So
definitely. And as everybody knows, at the end of the beta or the closed beta, and when we're going into the open beta, we'll be losing pretty much everything. Okay, and all your
Timma will be naked.
I don't know if we're going to be. We hope not. But
naked on the beanbag.
I leave you with that image, everybody.
yes, please delete that image. We will be
Control,
losing pretty
Control
much
X
everything.
the image or delete. All right.
But
Emily just winked at you. There we go. And Emily, thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us, Emily. It's much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh! But all I can say, I'm gonna reach out to the whole entire community as soon as we go into open. Use the TeamSpeak that I have for the Colossus group, especially for all you guys who have been around since like pretty much day one with me.
Phenomenal. We had
Yeah.
25 people on our TeamSpeak during our show, and
Um,
you know, with the best community anywhere, any video game ever played, ever.
Yes.
Tim, thank you for everything you do, man.
Thank you for posting the new link because I haven't updated it inside of my thingy yet. So, we do we have a new TeamSpeak. We have a new TeamSpeak because the old server was getting directed denial of service attacked because there's like up to billions of people on that one server. So we requested to be moved over to another one to get out of that poop hole.
Hold on real quick.
So,
Hugs, dinner, and bring extra clothing.
Well, everybody,
right.
there's gonna be an end of the world party.
I have the feeling they're going to be throwing pies. Okay, and
There's
I think-
gonna be-
White Bear's not there.
End of the world party in game when they get ready to do the big character wipe. It's going to be Timma and I and Pantera will figure this out, and we'll get you the deal. It's going to be a giant beach party. We can all go skinny dipping. It'll be a lot of fun.
We'll go bomb smoke jumpers.
There's too much sausage up in there, man. I'm sorry. Too much sausage from this guy.
End of the world party. It'll be
End
a
of the world
blast.
party.
It'll be a blast. Memorable. Absolutely memorable.
Yeah, but definitely for everybody, if write that TeamSpeak down, and when they do the wipe, if you need contact with somebody, we can make contact with people for you. Okay. I'd like to kind of bring our community in there so that we kind of have a central meeting point for the hell that's going to happen. And we're also going to be getting together to try to help get all of our tools back too. So with that is the end of the show for tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Gio. Thank you, Pantera. And thank you, Emily, for coming in and hanging out with us too.
Yes.
And that is episode 10.
10.
Episode 10 of
Ma.
Let's Talk Landmark.
10. Ma.
10.
10. Ma.
10. Ma.
Ma.
So, see you next time, guys.
Have a good
Cheers.
one.